Favorite Stargate character? Ooh, that's an interesting one. Colonel O'Neill. Rick. Have you ever thought of writing a book? I'm writing one right now. Why do you stay on Twitter given that you're a man of principle? I thought about this a lot. There's been many cases where I've wanted to leave Twitter. The signal to noise ratio increasingly is becoming worse. The censorship deeply bothers me. Uh, why be in a dialogue where people brutally attack you every single day? But it also gives me an opportunity to reach out to people. I've met amazing people over Twitter, and we've done some really cool things, like when I sold some tweets to help people out. So net, I think it's a positive. But I think that the way I use Twitter has to change necessarily over time, especially now that I have more than 500,000 followers and there's a lot more stakes. Like, for example, if I tweet something and it's the wrong thing or the right thing, depending on who you ask, it actually usually becomes a story. It's pretty amazing. So when Elon tweets something, it's on Bloomberg. When I tweet something, it's on like crypto media. But we're almost to that point where it gets on Forbes and Bloomberg. There's actually been Forbes articles written based on my my tweets. I was like, God, guys, must be a slow news week. So you have to be really careful when you have that kind of draw on power and platform to use it correctly. And I'm still learning and still trying to figure it out. Some of my worst moments have been on Twitter, and they were unexpected. And in hindsight, they're just dumb things. But what can you do? And some people in the cryptocurrency space have formed their entire opinion of me based on some tweets that I've had. They know nothing else. They just said, well, I saw this tweet and he must be this way. I've seen some people complain when I told someone to go fuck themselves after they mocked the death of a dozen people at a supermarket that I shop at. It's extraordinary to me. That part of the story is always left out. It's not okay to mock or trivialize or diminish the day of a mass shooting where people died getting groceries. That's just not okay. Any normal person who does that, if I was their employer, I'd call them in the office and sit them down, have a real conversation with them and say, why should I have you continue working for me? I don't want a person who thinks this way to represent me. This is not okay. But that's okay for him to do that. It's not okay for me to go fuck yourself when they do that. Sold a tweet, donated a tweet to charity to the victims of the shooting. That is also not mentioned, on Reddit or other places. So, it's a tough space. It really is. Social media is a tough thing, and people have no empathy at all. And when you become a public figure, you just have to accept that people will hate you who have never met you, never worked with you, and know very little about you. And when I say hate, they have a viscerally negative opinion. And they will confirmation bias whatever they can to justify whatever the opinion is. It's got to a point where I could save Vitalik's life. He could be drowning, and I could jump in and grab him and pull him out. And then if they mention on Ethereum Reddit, all the comments will be negative. It's just how it is. That's who these people are. On the other hand, you get to meet people you'd never have a chance to meet before. I met Vasil, and I went to Bulgaria because there's Alfred's Hotel over in Barcelona. There are many amazing people who are doing incredible things in the space, and I only get to know them because of social media. So you have to balance those things out between the good and the bad and the ugly, and you can't do too much of any. It's also tremendously addictive. It's a dopamine rush. There's always something new, always something coming at you. And so you have to moderate it so you don't spend too much time on it.